Oh, how did we meet? We met through his sister, Anne, in the UK. That was back in 2017. So she always used to tell me, oh, and then my brother, I have a brother. But to be honest, I wasn't really interested because I felt like I wasn't ready for a relationship at that point in time. But, we exchanged numbers. So she got my number, gave it to her brother, which is Ochiko, and then we started talking. We started talking, but I wasn't actually interested because I wasn't ready for a relationship at that point in time. So, you know how girls used to do now, just doing
plenty shakara.
So I guess he was pissed. So for like a whole year, we actually didn't talk. And then all of a sudden, towards the end of 2019, right, he just sprung up from nowhere. I didn't even have his number because I had actually deleted his number from my phone. So I just got a text and I'm like, oh, who is this and everything. And then he was like, oh, it's Ochika and everything. I started talking. So he tried calling me several times on WhatsApp, but I didn't pick up. And I was like, oh my God, it's not fair. This guy has been calling me for so long.
And then I made up my mind that I would stop calling, but I'll try one last time. Then she decided to call me back.
Yeah, so I was like, I felt so bad because actually he was calling, he had only my UK number. So I now said, okay, it's not fair. This guy has been calling me. I now sent him my Nigerian number, like, okay, I use this number more. So just call me on WhatsApp then. So he called and I missed it. It's not like I missed it intentionally, but my phone was on silent.
That's your line. I still don't believe that.
But anyway, I called him back and then we actually had a very good conversation. And that was how we went on from there. We started talking to each other every day. And here we are today.
My version is that she was intentionally missing those calls. But I think that I found that our experience, that, the time trying to talk, trying to understand each other was really helpful and evolutionary for us because it meant that we understood each other. We talked a lot, so we knew things like our fears, our families, what we wanted from life, because we inevitably were talking all the time. And it forced us to talk about, those things that you call wicked issues. Those conversations you don't want to have, but because of circumstance you must have. Things like family, things like religion, things like finance, stuff like that. So we talked and talked and talked, and the more we talked, the more we bonded, the more closer we became. And it got to a stage where I actually told her that you're my wife, I will marry you. And she was like, what's this guy smoking himself?
Yes, actually, that was on the 22nd of February.
Yeah.
Yes, he actually told me that. And then he actually told me, like, I should write it down somewhere that would tell our kids. But I was like, what is even wrong with this person?
Was
just started talking to someone.
February 2020?
Yeah,
2020.
Yes.
And I literally told her that, you know what, like, you're going to marry me and I'm going to marry you. But I don't see you seeing it now, but you see, just mark it, write it down somewhere. And she was like, this guy said, which kind of smoky they smoke? But anyways, I felt that the more we talked, the more we bonded. We just had, how, I know in the Bible they talk about this concept of missing ribs figuratively. But actually, I felt in my case that did happen to me. It just almost felt like you have a sentence that you're trying to convey, and then she completes it for you. And it got to a stage where if I wanted to do stuff, and I felt like if I told Ene could actually inform the decision in the right way, based on things like based on how I probably wouldn't even see the answer, but she would, and then convey back to me. So it just almost felt like it was just a perfect fit. Where I was deficient, she complimented me, and I do hope that where you're deficient, I compliment you. We're still learning. I didn't know 1 week, 1 day.
So for this particular couple now, how did you meet them, sir?
I met them through a client that I did her 40th birthday.
So it's from birthday that you got this wedding?
Yes.
Jesus. You got her from a 40th birthday, and she liked what you did, or what?
She liked what I did, and they hired me.
When was this?
It was like 2018.
Are you serious? 2018? That's when they made up their mind about you? Wow. I'm proud of you. So this is the planner, Queen. Hey, I always make this mistake. Let's confirm. Hold on. Queen, what's your distance? Your real name? Is it Queen Maravi?
He-goat.
Idiot.
He-goat.
Your name is He-goat.
You are a he.
Okay, Q Mara He-goat.
Q Mara
He-goat.
V.
That's Q Mara V.
Planet. All right, so this is the venue we're using for the wedding. I wanted us to visit this space because trying to show you how we're going to transform this empty hall to a beautiful traditional wedding venue. So take a look. Yeah, so I thought the setup would have started, but they're almost here. We can't wait because we have a meeting with the bride now, so we have to start heading towards her house.
The African bridal experience and their services. I just didn't know what to expect because it came in at the 11th hour. So it was more of, okay, I'm not quite sure. But then we had the chart and then you kind of gave us a pitch. And I kind of thought, okay, hang on, yeah. I kind of see where this is going and I like the sound of it, but let's just see how it pulls through.